People, we back. We back again. Technical difficulties to get us moving and grooving. Um, and now we jumping back into the mix. Okay, that's what I like to see. Right off the bat, we seeing the progress. The one little bit of glitch, we seen some progress. Okay, let me come. Yeah, woo. We on it. It's a little bit of a tight shot. It's a little bit of a tight shot, but we on it. We add in this IG, okay? Facebook, we making it do what it do. We making it we making it do what it do. Hold on, come on. Yes indeed, we back in full effect in the building, and woo. Let's get Twitch. Let's make sure the Twitch is okay. We gotta have that, you know what I mean? That quick twitch. You feel me? The quick twitch. Come to the stream manager. Yes, indeed. Let's get it cracking. Okay, I'm your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. This is SandCity Sports. We back in the building, folks. It's been, right? We having these gaps in the shows, and the shows is coming to you when they have to come to you. We late night, but that's just the way it has to be. Um, this is when your boy has the time. It's a busy season. There's a lot going on. You know what I mean? And we're mindful during this time, the holidays, and then things that are going on beyond that I will speak to a little bit. But first and foremost, Cape Cod Kid is thrilled. You know what I mean? This is the passion project, and we're gonna make it work, right? And schedule, there's things going on, work, and a lot of things that's going on, and the basketball season is coming at you. I referee. The basketball season is here, right? This is the third day of tryouts. The high school team, the pivotal third day of tryouts. It's a beautiful thing for those young student athletes that are trying to make the team, and just trying to be a part of the season. I know and I remember what that was. Um, and you don't know if you made the team, and your stomach is twisting and turning, and you're excited for the season if you're a returning player, and it's a beautiful thing. So all of that being said, but the passion project is going to continue. The SandCity Sports is going to continue. No two ways about it. So I am thrilled and ecstatic. A little bit late on the East Coast, but as I said, we're gonna do the episode. We're gonna get into all the different topics. Gonna get some shut eye. We're gonna get up early in the morning and get right back to it. That's what it is. Okay. So thrilled, ecstatic, and just we're across all the different platforms. We're bringing IG into the mix, which I'm excited about. You know what I mean? Just we have the Facebook, we have now the IG, we doing Twitch, okay, for the gamers out there, and then we doing our brick and mortar YouTube, as well as Twitter. And so just yes, you know what I mean, little by little. That's what a passion project is, folks. Okay, what a passion project is. We're not thinking about going from a couple handful to tens and hundreds of thousands and millions. By the way, I'm thrilled to be with you. You know what I mean, just in terms of this late night window, because we don't play a hate, we congratulate. I don't play a hate, I congratulate, folks. So right now I'm on, but also my man, Club Shay Shay is no, check it. Not Club Shay Shay, Nightcap is going on right now for this late night window. So I'm not the only one, and I'm not saying that I'm at that. Obviously I'm not. I got a couple handful. Shannon and how he's built up his juggernaut. He's got the millions and millions. But it just goes to show, hey, listen, there's people up right now, late night, and so this is, hey, I like the late nights. Again, get to sleep and we get back to it. And we rock and roll from there. So there will be these late night episodes, and then we're also gonna have episodes during the quote unquote traditional, 7, 8, 9 windows, to kind of get after it. Okay, so we're gonna going a little bit in reverse, folks. Obviously, NBA season is off and running. NBA Cup, which I love, is in full effect. We'll get into that, the theory of it, how Adam Silver has been very innovative. And touch on it on the NBA, most certainly. NFL, we're coming down the home stretch. Okay, and those folks are separating themselves from the pack, and we're starting to see those gradients. Okay, and my man, 1,000 grand, Mr. Dan Campbell for the Detroit Lions, a dude, the dude, has that team rolling. We're going to talk about the Lions and how they battled back. Man, it hurts my heart that Hutchinson is not in the mix. This is a team that's on a mission, on a team of destiny. And it hurts my heart that Hutchinson, who was balling out for them, is not in the mix. And yet they still are at the top of the NFC. Something ferocious. The Eagles right there with him. My man Saquon and the Eagles right there with him. Having family in the city of brotherly love, being a lifelong Eagles fan, You heard me going back to my man, okay? And I had a little bit. I'm getting a little bit older, okay? Yeah, I forgot it, but then I remembered it. I forgot it, but then Randall Cunningham. You heard me, baby? We going back to the Randall Cunningham days, right? All right. And in terms of those days in my Eagles fandom, it's crazy to think about that. We didn't know if certain people from certain backgrounds could play quarterback in those days. You kidding me? As an awesome 80s baby, are you kidding me? Right? Let's go back to Randall Cunningham. Let's go back to Doug Williams. We didn't know if people from certain cultural backgrounds, right? That's where the theory and the thinking was. Can you believe that? In terms of where we are now. Okay, anybody, everybody, Tua Tagovailoa from Hawaii. We play quarterback. We gonna come get you, and anybody. But I think back to Randall Cunningham, and woo, that's where the Eagles fandom started. Being an awesome '80s baby, and the Eagles, they certainly, as you know what I mean. They Baltimore. What the heck is wrong with you? Justin Tucker, who's my doggone kicker. What the heck is wrong with you? Huh? Huh? What's wrong with you? All right. So we're gonna get into the NFL. A lot of very, you know what I'm saying, NFC, AFC. You built like that? Are you a king of the North? You got any Jon Snow in you? I tell you who's the king of the North. That man, Josh Allen. That's the king of the North right there. Breaking records, NFL first quarterback to run, pass, catch. Okay. Put a beating on the San Francisco 49ers. I know San Francisco 49ers fans. The commissioner of my fantasy sports league, diehard San Francisco 49ers fan. Okay. You know that, we all suspected, San Fran, warm, sunshine. You gonna come to a snow game in Below? What? Coming to a snow game in Below? What? We know how the cold weather teams. And the Miami, hurt my heart how Miami got, just beat down going into Green Bay. I'm a fair weather. See, I was gonna say fair weather fan. I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm a fair weather person, and I have to, fair weather meaning I need my 70 degrees before I go to any athletic events. If it's 68 degrees, I gotta think twice. But coming from the Cape, in spring as the seasons change and those games you go to in April on the Cape, what? Those lacrosse or baseball games, that you're going to in April, man, we haven't crossed the precipice yet. It's like 62, 63, blustery. I mean, I gotta woo. You know what I mean? I'm not built for tough like the fans in Below that you saw on Sunday. Okay, it amazes me. And you just have people. I see it. That just are built like that. They can. I'm not one of those people. I almost caught the flu just watching the Buffalo San Francisco game. I almost caught a flu just watching the game. I get shivering just in the 72-degree home high definition. You kidding me? And then they were saying a thing, and we're gonna get to but I'm talking to you right now, folks. We're talking. By the way, we making it do. I know we late night, but people is up. People are up. Proper grammar, and I'm just so thrilled that we're adding the Instagram component. We're adding the Instagram component, which I'm just so happy about. We're on the Twitter. We're on YouTube. Um, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, we are going to talk about the Golden Bat Rule. This introduction is a little kind of long, but we're going to talk about the Golden Bat Rule, and then we're going to dive deeper into all these things I'm touching on. But doggone it, folks in Buffalo, not only are they building a new stadium, not only was that, that's what makes football. Those snowy, cold, go back to Lambeau Field. It kind of, in my mind, I remember talking, the old man pops And to this day, I can't understand it. But like football people would understand this. I can't understand it in terms of, that it used to be like the tradition. My pops played football in like the mid and late 70s, folks. And by the way, shout out to the Mashpee Falcons here on the Cape. Was in the Super Bowl today in Gillette Stadium. I'm pulling for the Mashpee Falcons. Let me hold on. I can't just mention that. We got to see who won the ball game. We got to see who won that ball game. I'm pulling for the, you know what I mean, the Mashpee Falcons. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, shout out to the Falcons. They battled. They lost in the championship. Okay, good season, great season for the team. Great season for the team, and they out there battled, but lost in the championship. Okay, um, to Uxbridge. Okay, game was played today, out there in the cold, Okay, the Falcons had a great season. Um, but you know what I mean. It's cold out there. It's cold. Are you kidding me? And where am I going with this? With the olden days, and this is in the 70s. Never mind, we're talking about Lambeau Field. You've seen those pictures. Okay, the linebacker, like Dick Butkus, like they did not wear gloves. And it was like a point of pride and like, just that manhood. And it just shocks me, that they wouldn't let you wear gloves in these cold weather games. Oh my goodness. And that's woo, like obviously, I can't get over that. And that's a lot of the reason I never went forward with football. I get cold rather quickly. And I remember we had a cold weather game when I was playing like Pee Wees. Remember back in it, and I wasn't a starter, I'm talking to you right now. I talk to you, talk your ear off, you know what I mean? But football, hitting and just being out there, I was a little bit reticent. Then now, always. And we're going to speak on that a little bit more. We spend a little bit more in a bit. But I remember I had a game and I had gloves, but it weren't, they were just like gloves that you would almost like golf gloves. And I wasn't playing, and I just kept getting colder and colder and colder and colder. And they put me out there for like a play or two, but I was just like, you know what I'm talking about, people. Like once the cold sets in and your hands get cold and your feet get cold and you're just cold, and then whoa, you just have to get back inside and you got to warm up. And it's always painful when your hands have to warm up and your feet have to warm up. And so, yeah, that's your boy. That's the Cape Cod kid. Um, Back to the Sunday night football game in Buffalo, folks out there, t-shirts, no shirts, drenching themselves with water. A lot of this is just flat out outlandish. I don't care who you are, where you are. But those shots, those icon, it's just the place is packed. People are into it. People got the strong bundles on. They bundled up. Like I can do that if I'm bundled up, layer after layer. You know what I mean? Boxers, thermals, 2 pair of socks, thermal socks. I gotta have a strong bundle. I've learned about this in my life. I gotta have a strong bundle if I'm gonna get out there in this crazy cold to do it. But yes, that was a statement game. And the Buffalo Bills, I've said this, I'll continue to say it. Sometimes less is more. Are they better talent-wise without Stephon Diggs? Absolutely not. Stephon Diggs hurt my heart, but just in general, because he was on my fantasy team as well as Nico Collins, and my team was balling to start the season. We're gonna be balling in the future because the Texans started off like gangbusters. Injuries, now Nico Collins is back, Diggs is out, craziness. That's crazy work. Diggs was like leading the league in a bunch of statistical categories. Like it was working. It was a win-win. That would have been crazy if the Texans, it still could happen, but crazy if the Texans and the Buffalo Bills met up, on a crash course in the AFC Championship game. Yes, I said AFC Championship game because we got some teams that are suspect in the AFC. You know what I'm talking about. One of the best records. Continue to squeak by. Defending champions, suspect. Ravens continue. Now, Eagles are a good team. Ravens are a good team, but the rate, I'm thinking, the AFC is just wide open in terms of the talent at the top. Kansas City, you're the best. You want to beat a man, you got to beat the man. But they just not. They don't strike fear into your heart. The Ravens are more talented than they were last year, and they had the home playoff game last year. But they're losing. The AFC, and pound for pound is superior to the NFC. So even though the Eagles are a good team, the Ravens, as a premier team in the stronger conference, should handle them. Right? Yeah, I know it's a divisional game and there's tradition, and you don't understand it unless you kind of are there, and the AFC North football, but the Ravens shouldn't be losing to the Steelers, who didn't know who their quarterback was till a quarter of the third of the way through the season, and they're balling, right? We're gonna get to baseball and the Golden Bat. We're gonna get to that in a second, but before we're gonna come back to football, but right, a Steelers on a good night with things trending in the right direction and them having momentum can take out Kansas City or the Ravens. But back to Belo and I just feel like Buffalo is on a mission, and they're trending and playing noticeably better, a lot better, not just the 9-2 record than in years past when they've been more talented, but not as nearly as together. They've been as talented, they've been more talented, but not anywhere near as together. Um, Not got an interesting. Hold on, I think we have a okay. We got a text message. I think we have a meeting. Got a meeting tomorrow. I'm glad I got this update. I'm glad I got this update. I shall respondeth. I shall respondeth a little bit later. I gotta email. I gotta get an email. Okay, folks. Okay, so went around the world. That's what it is. What it is. It's how we moving and grooving in here. If you like it, you don't like it, let me know. Questions, comments, concerns. I know we late night. I know we up against the juggernaut in terms of the nightcap. Um, but hey, we're gonna make it do what it do. All right, so this golden bat idea in Major League Baseball that has been proposed. Do I like the leagues just throwing these things out there and just to kind of mull it, and see what you think, and that's all good. And frankly, I credit baseball for this off-season marketing and to keep baseball relevant for these next couple months when football is going to dominate and the NBA is coming into its primacy, right? Christmas Day, a lot of people, non hoop fans, casual hoop fans. Just to say the NBA season starts at Christmas, obviously for the hoop people that grew up with hoops. We know we're invested in the NBA, from the summer to preseason, we're ready to go. But, casual fans, Christmas Day is when we lock in and all the great games, so on and forth. So baseball getting these narratives out, in at a time where World Series is over, a lot of times you just pack up baseball until opening day, pack up baseball to the spring. Okay, where people are out there in the cold, like in New England, starting the year, and then you move into the warmer weather, right? So I like the golden bat proposal during a time, when baseball has, just as long as I've been following sports, was just not relevant. It was like World Series, and we'll see you next year. Even the contract negotiations and debates don't really generate a lot of, well, it's tough to break through because football is, it's football, the NBA. But I like that part of it. And we're talking about baseball, in December. Great. Okay. But I gotta say, you know, baseball, a game that values tradition, a game that, you know, has a gold standard that they don't, you know, won't back down from. I'm talking specifically about their Hall of Fame, not a Hall of Good, not a Hall of Friends, but a Hall of Fame, right? And we can go back and forth right about that. Pete Rose, R.I.P. to Pete Rose, hit king, in baseball, and cross that line, cross that point of demarcation, and there's no coming back. You know, baseball and gambling after the Black Sox. Shout out to Ken Burns, documentary filmmaker, one of my heroes. Ken Burns. If you don't know, you know. If documentaries aren't your thing, watch 10 minutes of the Civil War. Okay, I think or any one of his documentaries. I'm glad Ken Burns is brought up because things are busy and life is life and all the rest of that stuff. He got a new documentary out on Leonardo da Vinci. I got to see the first couple. You can't get too busy in life where you don't express, you don't create, you don't fulfill the passions that you have. How has it been? Ken Burns has a new documentary out, and I haven't even peeped like the first 5 minutes. I don't care how busy I am. I got to see this. I'm gonna check it out the first 10 minutes before I go to bed tonight. Has to happen. But if you love baseball, and I know like then you've seen Ken Burns' um, baseball documentary, which and I, I'm talking to you. I love sports. I love history. Two things go together, right? What I know of the Black Sox scandal, like what actually happened with the Black Sox, is because of Ken Burns' baseball documentary. You work, just right. I told you he's my hero. He's one of my heroes. But check out, so what does this have to do with, baseball and golden bat rule? What it has to do with that is, once you understand what the Black Sox scandal meant to the institution of baseball and how it rocked baseball to its core, the national pastime, right? It's just, I feel like it's etched in the memory in baseball consciousness in the United States of America. That Black Sox scandal and the uh, incompatibility going forward for as long as the nation and baseball are around of gambling and that sport. They just cannot in any right, and that's so when Pete Rose crossed that line, even though he was Pete Rose, who because we don't right. Pete Rose is known for being banned from the Hall of Fame and banned from baseball, and not for being the hit king and just this one of these all-time first team baseball individuals. Which right, those things, it's twofold, right? It hurts my heart, you want to see greatness recognized, but then you respect that, coming from the basketball tradition, I respect that, and Pete, you're gonna, and he passed, and R.I.P. and right, you're always gonna be that legendary figure, but you're not getting in the Hall of Fame. No, I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, no. No, we said it, we meant it. You're not, whereas you're right. So that's the game that we're talking about, and I credit baseball. The marketing piece, yes. The pitch clock, 100%, 1,000%. That's an absolute home run. Speeding the games up, and I know, that's one. And they said, well, no. The pitch clock is 100. That's spot on, and it doesn't take away. And the pitchers can still, have their pacing, and but we're moving along. These 4 or 5 hour games, just that was a different. When people are listening on radio and you know from a different era in American life, you can do that. You didn't have all this competition from these other sports. Fine, wonderful. Right, we're almost a quarter of the or a quarter of the way through the 21st century. Baseball, enter in. So the pitch clock, flat out, making the bases larger, ridiculous. And I don't, you get a baseball analyst in here to give me like the specific. I don't even care. I don't care. It's no stupid. There's no reason to change the dimensions of the game. I don't care. Particularly when now with the technology, you see those, the gloves that they wear, so obviously it makes sense. You're sliding hands first. You need your hands. You jam your finger, you break fracture, sprain your finger. Now you're not, right? So it's making sense. Again, think about that, folks. All the way back to football, as I told you that story, and I can't get over it still to this day. You cannot, the coach, no, you're not wearing gloves in the cold weather. Be a man. Bananas. Absolutely bananas. You can't, your hands won't function. I don't care who you are. Never mind me, you see, So I'm just going to be in pain and like not play football. Because, my hands are cold to start with. Now you want me to go out there and, try to grab people and my hand, it's just crazy work. It's just insane. And even those gladiators who can do it, as I said, Ray Nitschke and Dick Butkus and Mike Singletary, like you see their hands, their hands almost look, they're just all swollen up, arthritis to be able to, you know what I mean? So your hands are not even anywhere near functional. And you're shooting them up with cortisone. Just put some freaking gloves on. Put some gloves. But again, tradition, they didn't do that. Right back to base. I don't. Making the bases larger, no. No. Taking away the shift, no. No. And I'd even say, the extra innings rule where you got the runner that starts on second. Again, because of the speed the game's up, I disagree with that. Even though it's kind of even for both teams, almost like you start in the 20-yard line, you have to go, in to the end zone. By the way, shout out to Georgia versus Georgia Tech. Insanity. 7-8 overtimes in that game. Georgia Tech far ahead. Georgia, wow, speak up. This NIL is crazy. A team like Georgia that should have won the national championship essentially last year, even though I was very happy for Michigan. But Georgia getting bounced from the, after being undefeated and losing the was just insanity. And then this next year, them kind of just almost, on the fringe. And I didn't see that coming. Kirby Smart has certainly rode the NIL professionalism wave and done it, with so that was, that they've struggled, that Georgia has struggled. It was surprising. But that game, on and on and on and on, so on and forth. All right, the golden bat rule, folks. Okay, it's just a bridge too far, and it's like when I guess, not being a numbers casino person, like when you get that first win, right? You want to keep, I'm hot, baby, I'm hot. By the way, shout out to Owning Mahoney, folks. Store that away. Indie classic. Philip Seymour Hoffman. An indie classic. Classic is strong, but it's just one of these films I got. It's just a good movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman, R.I.P. But just about gambling and life and all the rest of that. Owning Mahoney, you heard it here first. You can get it on YouTube. All right, shout out to YouTube. You can find it there. It's one of these movies that's kind of in limbo. All right, I give you the indies classics that, Usual Suspects, please. You know what I mean? Films like Sleepers, you know what I mean? Just these indie great films. But yeah, that's baseball. You got one thing right with the pitch clock, and then you just throw in a whole bunch of other stuff that's bonkers and ridiculous. And shouldn't have been, the shift, no. And baseball people, you're finding this, hit the ball somewhere else. I don't care. Launch angles, analytics. If we're moving, it's like team wants to do a boxing one, you know what I mean? And just then, use the open space somewhere else. We don't need to legislate those things. Like in the NBA, penalties for flopping is ridiculous and preposterous. I referee. You know what the penalty or the solution for flopping is? Hire better referees. Train your referees. Particularly at the NBA level, where they have the best flow of all three sports, right? College still tied to the 20-minute halves, so you're going to get in the bonus sooner. And even though college is doing a better job with the ticky tack, nickel dimer nonsense, just because there's contact, and you kidding me? You kidding me? You referee a series high school basketball, a varsity high school basketball game, never mind a prep school game. How strong, quick, agile, athletic these guys are. Possibly, if not the greatest, top three best rules in the rule book of basketball: incidental contact. Contact that does not affect the normal offensive or defensive movement is to be deemed incidental. Did you hear me, folks? Contact that does not affect the normal offensive or defensive movement is to be deemed incidental, i.e., no whistle, no call. Right? So just because there's that contact, but if that player can just move through it as our strong, skilled varsity prep school, college, NBA players can do, they just move through that contact, and there's no call there because there's no advantage gained, and it didn't affect anything. Check out the NBA, particularly the NBA Cup, where they officiate on a playoff level, even though it's early in the season. Shout out to your boy Adam Silver. I thought the NBA Cup would have been better near the All-Star break. No. Adam Silver, in terms of the right types of innovation and the right types of leadership with this NBA Cup, regardless of how you feel about the space age looking courts, which is another win for the league and for Adam Silver. Why? It's different. This is not just the regular season. It's different. So we are going to have the space age regular season courts. But then when we go back to the regular court, you'll just have that shift. And for people, casual fans, again, me, my crew, my circle of friends that's just grown up, you know what I mean? Long live D-Top. Long live, okay? One of our great, dear friends that we lost recently, and that's with us, okay? And just personify, we just grew up. This was, what we had growing up. Didn't have always all the other things and the this and the that, but we had sports, we had hoops, and we had the game and playing, and then you look back and you're just so fortunate that But my point with that is, so that me, I'm watching NBA basketball. We talked about this, but the NBA Cup, the reason it's the casual, everyone's not a Rudy Rudiger just loving it like and what I mean, and my friend group. Casual fans, they got, you got to give them reasons. So having this NBA Cup to start the season, to launch what you're doing, is much better than than losing that momentum, right? How does Hollywood know what a film is going to do? That first weekend. That's how we know. The first weekend. You heard me? You can project it off, so you have to launch before you can do the other things that you want to do. Okay? NBA Cup. As season starts, we play 1-2 games, and then we right into it. The players have the seriousness, the purpose, its financial implications on the line. They need the money. Yes, they need it. They need the money. Okay? Shout out to Billy Corbin. Shout out to ESPN 30 for 30. Check out Broke. I saw Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert does a lot. He's built himself up, his brand, Gil's Arena. I just love that. Okay, and he's I followed Gil, and it wasn't always Gil's Arena what he has now, and it's a good show, and I just love how he got there. It wasn't just given to him. But one of the things that Gilbert Arenas, who was a player, honestly, keeping it 100 with you, the player I did not love. Super talented, but not super consistent. And he had the injuries in Washington, which derailed him. If he had not had the injuries in Washington, they invested in Gilbert Arenas. They invested in Caron Butler. They invested in, was it Anton Jameson was there? I believe that was their big three: Jameson, Butler, Caron, and Gil. But they were just never healthy together. It's unfortunate. But you go back to Golden State Gil or early Washington Gil, Hibachi Gil, stop it. Stop it. Now then, the injuries and the mentality and testing the Angel of Stern, David Stern, his career was kind of cut short, but the perspective that he has and how he gets into, just what it means to be a professional athlete, what we think it means on the outside, and then what they experience. Shout out to Jim Carrey, who has a quote on this. that resonates, right? Jim Carrey said, "I wish people could become wealthy." That's Jim Carrey. Shout out to In Living Color, Jim Carrey back in the day. He says, I wish people could become wealthy so that they understand that that's not the answer." What he said, right? And by the way, check out Jim Carrey's backstory. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe I'm mistaken, but like came up tough in Canada, like tough in Canada, just blue collar, you know, insecurity, housing wise, just tough, right? You don't judge a book by its cover. I hate Christian Leighton. And Christian Leighton is from below. I didn't understand who Bobby Hurley was until I read The Miracle of St. Anthony. Shout out to Woj. I didn't. I thought Bobby Hurley was just some rich, spoiled kid. You can never judge a book by its cover. Bobby Hurley is from Jersey City. You kidding me? What? Check out The Miracle of St. Anthony's. Fine, don't the street stops here. PBS Gold. About you kidding me? What? Christian Leitner, Buffalo, Bobby Hurley, Jersey City, Coach K. Speaking of Duke, is from Chicago. What? Well, look at me and look at, well, obviously Duke is Duke, Southern Ivies and all the money and whatnot, but you going to look at me and what? Get up out of here. People don't know, oh my goodness, how good a player Bobby Hurley Jr. was. Oh my goodness, read The Miracle of St. Anthony's. Bobby Hurley Jr., neither of her, they're not big dudes, like 6', 6'1", all-time leading assist at Duke. Bobby Hurley Jr. was the co-MVP of the 1990 McDonald's All-American game with Shaquille O'Neal. Stop that. Stop that. Bobby Hurley Jr. was a menace. Gave John Stockton the business. Just stop that. Been going on. I forget now. I got on some of these tangents going back to baseball. Oh yes. I do remember. Because I was talking about with Gilbert Arenas, right, and the NBA Cup, right? Gilbert Arenas. He's doing a lot. I respect Gil. And sometimes his takes are but he had good takes. Sometimes you don't mince no words. Sometimes you go a little bit over, but it's a good show. But listen to him talk about similar to Jim Carrey. Two things. First of all, right, and this is what one of my great colleagues told me years ago that stuck with me. One of my great colleagues, and he said, "Listen, let me say straight up." But he said, "Listen, you got to be careful what you wish for. You know why? You know why you got to be careful what you wish for? Because you might get it. Now what? Now what you gonna do? You got to be careful what you wish for because you might get it, right?" So Gilbert Arenas, he kind of alludes to that. Like you think that because we have, you know what I mean? And I got to bring in another point. I'm going to make my point. I got to bring in another point. We're going to get back to baseball, but then we're going to keep NBA, all the rest of that stuff. Let me make another point. Shout out to we had some viewership going on. I appreciate you. We had some viewership going on. Questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. Let me know. I'm learning this. You know what I mean? So I know that if you know what I mean. I know that if you check in with me, I can see it and you comment. Yep. I know it's late. I know it's a weeknight. This is the time that we have. This is the time we got to make the most of, folks. This is the time we have today. It's what we doing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Right. So my man Gil, he the mental side of it, right? You think, but don't judge that book by its cover. And then Gilbert Arenas goes into the financial side of it as well. How many players, and this is, Billy Corbin and Gilbert Arenas, they verify one another. How many players in the NBA are experiencing financial distress, i.e. broke, 5 years after retirement? Right? 60 to 70%. 60 to 70% are in financial distress. Okay? What does this have to do with the Golden Bat Rule and Adam Silver, right? Or Golden Bat Rule, Rob Manfred, Adam Silver, NBA. The NBA Cup, right? The financial implications of that tournament. Yeah, players are tuned in. That they need that money, right? The Supermax guys, but they need the money. Okay, so they're going to play at that level and give you a good product, a good game, and the officiating there is playoff grade and is tremendous. All right, and that's an example of an innovation that works. Okay, playing tournament, yes. Excuse me, the NBA Cup, yes. The play-in tournament again at the other end of the season, right? Yes. Adam Silver looking at the All-Star game in different ways to, I'm for it. If it doesn't work, we change it. We're not going to be tied down unnecessarily. We're going to, we don't want to, you don't want to just switch and, all day, every day, right? But, you want to have that optionality and the innovation. Okay, and some further things that I'm not necessarily in line with, but they've been floated out there is just one, just the top 16 teams. No more conferences, just the top 16 teams make the playoffs. I don't think we need to do that. Haven't done it in the past. I think no, it's too far. That's too far. And so back to baseball and the golden bat rule. Too far. Nice for conversation. No. And if I'm baseball, I'm rolling back some of these ridiculous changes. I don't care, you need offense and hit the ball other places. Get rid of the ban on the shift. Hit the ball over there. Stop. And put the bases back to the way they were before. All right. And this is one of the things to talk about. It just diminishes. Shohei, 50 home runs, 50 stones, but the bases are bigger. I'm sorry. It diminishes that achievement. Not putting that pound for pound with Ricky Henderson. Not doing it. Because you've made it easier for no good reason. All right? Made it easy. Oh, we got a chat. We got a chat up in the pizzle. Hold on. I appreciate you. Yes. I appreciate. Yo. Gotta put this in. This has to go in. I need that response because, folks, I'm not rocking it right now, but my man Kurt, my man Plenty Sneaks, supporting your boy. That means the world to me. You heard me? Because my man Plenty Sneaks hooked me up. I don't have it right. With the SandCity. I might have to hold on. Let me. My man Kurt, I gotta get this. Hold on. We got some artwork. You can see some artwork behind me. Everything is good with my shot. Shout out to the artwork. That was donated. That was the real deal donation. That was the real deal. The artwork. Yes. You know what I mean? And we showing love. We remembering. We show love and we remember it. You know what I mean? We show the love. But yeah, shout out to hold on. My man Plenty Sneaks. You know what I mean? We got the SandCity. This is the ultimate collab because the logo is Plenty Sneaks. I love the logo. And then hey, holla at me if you need a shirt or the logo, you know what I mean? Or you looking, the logo was Plenty Sneaks, my man Kurt. And then the flag man, my cousin Tim Luce, did the flex fit, so we got the SandCity shirts. The SandCity shirts, most definitely. That's in the building. And I got my artwork out there, you know what I mean? We got the beard oil and everything. Keep the thing like have to be. So I appreciate you. I'm learning. Okay, we can hold on. But I can still see it though, right? I can still see it. Okay, I got the chat over here. I can still see it. Okay, good. Again. We doing. I know we late. It's late. It's a work night. I know. Hey, I'm up in the morning myself. I'm up in the. It is what it is. But we got to do the passion project always. We got to do the passion project always. In terms of giving life to those things. We gotta work. When the work is the work, we gotta do that. Um, but we also have to feed the creativity. So this is the time that I have. This is the time I'm going to use. And yeah, we're gonna get up early and grind tomorrow, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing. We're gonna go at least to the 130 mark, at least to the 130 mark. I think that's about a good, because I do need to, you know what I mean, get a couple things organized. I do need to get that rest, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful just how this day. It's been a grind of a day. It's been a grind of but a great day, but a great day. Um, so I'm thankful in terms of how it's worked out for me to be able to even do this. Because I didn't think I was gonna, I didn't know, right? Didn't know if I was gonna be able to do it, but yes. Okay. Golden bat, no, no. Okay. And right, shift, get it out of here. As I've said, pizza boxes, get them out of here. Be more pragmatic. Baseball. All right, folks, we got to get now. We still got NBA and NFL to get to. NFL and NBA to get to. Shout out to Cooper Flag. All right, Duke Blue Devils getting the dub over number 2 seed Auburn. Duke number 9 seed. Shout out to them. Creighton knocking off number 1 Kansas. Doug McDermott. Pops. What? Hold up. Okay, I said basketball, right? And then I went to college, and I said basketball, but then I went into college. We're gonna have to, folks. We're gonna have to go to football first. I gotta do this. I gotta do it. And I know we know time is. We gotta go to football first. Okay, and I'm just getting my mind around this. That they say Trevor Lawrence is out for the season. Okay, based on a hit by Algiz Shazier, which um I just because it was looking at the replay. What I will say for Al Jazeera is that he kind of it was more of here pushing rather than like straight launching with his helmet. And that's one for honestly. This is one of these things where for a football player, and even if it was the old days, in the old days that wouldn't have been an ejection or anything else, because he was sliding. But we're gonna work him out a little bit. But certainly in this new iteration, this new era of the NFL, and yes, you want to hit the quarterback, and but once the quarterback even starts to slide, you got to pull the dogs off, or you're gonna get a penalty. That's how I feel about it. I want to make those two things for me, and Trevor Lawrence being out for the season. That's but it's terribly unfortunate. Same time, the Jags aren't going anywhere, right? So let's take a look at the standings. All right, the Jaguars. So it might just behoove them to sit him to get a higher draft pick. 2-10, stop that. Right? What do you need him for the next 5 games? Right? So I think that. Whereas if they were in the hunt, it's concussion. You can't mess around with that. But he misses 2 games. He'll come back for the third game. But 2-10, 5 games left. Let's go 2-15 and get these draft picks. All right. But for Alge's, Shazier pronunciation, don't hold me on that, right? I was trying to make it, he did not like launch with his head, like, you know what I mean? Like torpedo missile and like connect. It was Lawrence's slide and he's already committed himself. You're going to get some work. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas that's one of these things, whereas he would have just been better like jumping over him almost in this modern NFL. Because like, what can you do once that quarter, they're starting to like, you know what I mean? And I think that's what like, and he's just like Trevor Lawrence ain't a small dude, you know, but he's not as big as Al Shazier. Trevor Lawrence, 6'5", and but he's not that hulking linebacker. Okay, right? So his momentum is sliding and his momentum is taking him back, and then, and so a much bigger than you. That's what I saw happening, rather than him connecting. I felt like it was more here and here, and just the angle. Your head snapped back. That's a concussion. No two ways about it. Head snap back, concussion, done. Okay. So we got the 3 games, and Lawrence out for the season. But again, I think I'm repeating myself. Okay. We don't need to. Okay. Now, the Aaron Rodgers disaster. Shout out to Robert Saleh. Okay, he was a good coach. Shouldn't have been. All right, the Jets being 3-9. Patriots could easily be 5-8. Lose that game to the Colts. Lost a close one early in the year. I believe it was the Saints. Um, Dolphins. Tua's injury not happening. Okay. But the Aaron Rodgers disaster. Listen, it reminds me, right? Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay, Giannis, Milwaukee, right? You got to know when to tell your superstars no, and let them rage. Well, first of all, not rage quit, but let them threaten. And I'm gonna move. The Milwaukee Bucks, we know, would be how much better if they would have just no Giannis. Okay, keeping Drew, keeping Coach Bud, no, and Giannis could have. Well, I'm out of here, and they would have just kept winning and worked out a way to get another piece rather than Giannis, right, holding the franchise hostage. Franchise, just kind of, well, we have to give, and where the Bucks are just a train wreck disaster as far as they are. Okay, and where are the Jets? Train wreck disaster from all the way, right? And the owner looks probably the worst in all of this. Not just because he picked, and gave everything to somebody, who's a contrarian without a cause. Came out that, and this is the best Jets team we've had, and we have to go all in. So I no. There's that line, like you go to Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, getting Bruce Arians, quote unquote, sent up to the front. But even in that instance, like, okay, Arians is going to go to the front office, and, we're bringing in somebody else, a new voice, because Tom, these, diva quarterbacks have to have it their way. But, when it wasn't all your way, what were the results, Tom? A Super Bowl championship. Yeah. So it's just, I know you want to catch lightning in the bottle, but the Jets are seeming, that whole thing, are you better off than you were 4 years? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? That whole argument, in terms of politics. Not going to dive too deep into politics. Okay, but, the Jets are the stupid money. And you say, how could this have been different? First of all, Aaron Rodgers don't get hurt in the first 2 seconds that you're on the team. That's how it can be different. And secondly, just having some structure and some, and right, guide the situation, handle the situation as best as possible, and not to, like Aaron Rod, like I never felt like Salah or did anything untoward to him. You saw Rodgers push him on the sidelines, right? That's just who he's always been, like that. And just there's just gonna be issues and drama, and that's just how he rolls. Is it Robert Saleh's fault that Aaron Rodgers is pushing 40 with a Achilles injury? ACL injury, Is that Robert Saleh's fault? And he comes in, so he's not who he was. But he's still Aaron Rodgers, so everything has to be my way, the highway, all the time. So there's nothing that Robert Saleh, the point, could have done, said, that would have changed that. So why is he the fall guy? And you allow, again, Aaron Rodgers to create that circumstance from, Woody Johnson, and it's like, yes, Aaron Rodgers to death, but it's like, no, we want, how long has Jerry Jones, you know, gotten the most rabid fan base? And I don't have no problem saying that in terms of, yes, I know we love football across the country, but what it means in Dallas, are you kidding me? How has Jerry Jones gotten that crazed? If the Dallas Cowboys were a college football team. And Jerry Jones, which he is essentially like the coach, or the president of the university that hired the coach. How long would that person stay if this was happening at a Alabama or at a Georgia or at a Texas A&M or at an Ohio State or at an Oregon? Right? Person would have been gone 2-3 years into their tenure. Goodbye. Jerry Jones has owned this team like a half a century, and it's been a quarter of a century, and growing since they've had any type of success. But nobody seems to care. Right? So again, back to Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson's Aaron Rodgers situation. There was another opportunity for, yes, just keep yesing Rodgers, but then, he's going to complain. He's like, this is what he does. He said, the only time he would go back to Green Bay was if it was for a memorial. He ended up going back to Green Bay and winning MVPs and the team being great. And him one, pass that was right there, from, competing, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and us having a different history. Trevor Lawrence, they're keeping him out wisely. Get that number 1 pick, build from there. Aaron Rodgers, we got 5 games left in the season. The Jets, what's the point? Doesn't look like Rodgers is coming back. Doesn't look like they want him back. You got rid of Salah. He can't come back. Jets, Jets. Born in the great state of New Jersey. Those, have been my teams. The Jets being from Jersey and the Philadelphia Eagles. Got family in Philly. You heard me. So, yeah. As they say, right? Joey Knish is a New York legend. He's been a rounder, earning a living at cards since he was 16. Right? As we learned from the Rounders is not really indie, but just in that, just awesome. Tour de force. Awesome for the, gaming revolution, gambling revolution. What did Joey Knish say around? You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Don't give me no. You did it to yourself. Take that accountability. Jets, you did it to yourself. All right, no two ways about it. Let's go over to the NBA, folks. And we've had discussions, right? We've had discussions. Cleveland's for real. They're not for fake. They're for real. Okay? And I'm a Kenny Atkinson fan. We've talked about this. When he went there, I was like, I should have, been on this more because I felt bullish about it, and now the bull run is over. But yeah, Kenny Atkinson has been a top flight coach. We talked about it, and that's just more and more what you're seeing. His journey, he should have been the coach of the Nets, but they didn't need a coach apparently. They didn't, right? Again, leadership. The Nets didn't need a coach. They just wanted to hand the keys over to their superstars. How did that work out? Dumpster fire. And you got rid of the coach that would have led you to a championship in Kenny Atkinson in retrospect. Let's tell that story. Nets would have won a championship with Kenny Atkinson. Yes, won the championship. Kenny Atkinson, even with one of the injuries. Take away Harden, take away Kyrie. You couldn't take away Durant. But take away one of the guards, still. Championship grade. Yes, I said it. Kenny Atkinson at the helm. What he's doing with the... Getting late, but what he's doing with the Cavaliers, please. And back to this, again, concept of leadership. Did Darius Garland not say... Did he not say that if Donovan Mitchell's here, I can't be here? Did he not say that? Where is that narrative now? Nowhere to be found. Okay? Kenny Atkinson. Okay, so they're 19-3. They mean it. And Boston, look, still the favorites. No doubt about it, but Cleveland is absolutely positively for real. The Knicks mopped up the Orlando Magic last night in the NBA Cup. Nonetheless, the Magic sit at the number 3 seed, and they are, again, you know, Jamal Mosley knows his business. And yeah, man, it's team that's drafted right, that has an incredible role acceptance. Essentially, have two of everything. They have Jalen Suggs and they have Cole Anthony, Paulo Banchero, who wasn't there. In fairness, Banchero wasn't there last night against the Knicks, so he would have made a huge difference. Got the Wagner, brothers, family, and they just play for each other. They play the right way. They play the entire 48 minutes. And they remind me of my New York Knicks. Okay, I can't let them take. You know what I mean? But they're one of these teams that's gonna be a tough out. And again, leadership, the coach, culture that he's established, and getting these lottery picks one after another to buy into team. All right, you're gonna be successful. I'm surprised. The Knicks, are going. They should have a better record. Frankly, 8 losses and kind of middle of the pack. It's taking some time, getting, but it's, Karl Anthony Towns played for Tibbs before, so I don't know about this taking his time. I'm surprised the Bucks are 11-10, or out of the play-in. Hawks, Quinn Snyder knows his business. No two ways about that. Our playing teams familiar: Heat, Nets, Bulls, Pacers familiar. Detroit Pistons right there for the play-in. Good to see. Surprise. Well, your Raptors and the Sixers have to be the biggest surprise. Sixers have to be the biggest surprise at 5-15. I'm sorry, a team that went out and got PG, and championship this and championship that. Surprising. Okay. In conclusion, let's take a look at the Western Conference. We're gonna go from the bottom to the top. Pelicans. People need to be fired. What are you doing for the Pelicans to have the worst record in the league? No, that's the Wizards. Okay, shout out to the Wizards. But doggone close. So people need to be fired. Just blow it up. The Jazz, they don't seem to ever want to win. They've been, I don't know what Danny Ainge is stock. Maybe Danny Ainge wants Cooper Flag. Okay, great. Okay, Blazers, same thing. Been bottom feeding. Have to implement. They got all these lottery picks. That are similar. And they got to streamline some things, make some decisions. They got Clinigan, from UConn, who's going to come in there and be a good player. But just they seem to have a lot of just young, talented guys. You need to package some of those and get you a vet to have more balance. Spurs, again, Wemby still learning to fly. Lakers going to be up and down. We knew this. Honeymoon's over with JJ Redick. Now you have to actually coach in a very competitive conference with an aging and sensitive team. Good luck. Nuggets, right? Short window, folks. Even though they're 11-8, they're in the 8th seed. There's a lot of, how many? We got 1, 2, 3. You got 4, 5, 8 win teams, 8 loss teams. Excuse me, in the West. So the Nuggets could easily be a 6 seed or a 5 seed. But they're coming in because of how the cookie has crumbled. In 8th, Golden State, shocking me, but not. These young guys have done their apprenticeship. Kuminga's ready. Pazorski, is a good pickup. Kind of similar to, Stephen Clay. These Clay more so out of Washington State. Steph was a lottery pick, but Clay more so to Washington State. Coaching, Coach Bud in Phoenix, they're 5 seed solidly. Memphis, strong leadership, consistency at the coach, and then Ja coming back, and you're getting the right Ja, the team first Ja. Dallas Mavericks, again, leadership. Who would have thought Kyrie Irving could, be unselfish and embrace team? Who would have thought that? Not me. Shout out to Jason Kidd. I did not think that that would work any way, shape, or form. How they play, the isolation piece, yes, because they're in isolation. Luca at the top of the key, just 1-4 flat, and we're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna surround him with shooters. We're gonna shoot threes like they're, you know, you know, shoot threes just like they're going out of style. But Jason Kidd, their roster is more complete in terms of defenders, in terms of worker bees than I had originally given credit for. Shout out to Jason Kidd, Mark Cuban, the new ownership group. Cuban is still, does the day to day in operations, but there's another ownership group that's taken over the command of the franchise. And just thrilled for the Rockets. Very talented. They're with the young guys. Extremely talented. Scratch my back and get back ready. Um, and now you got leadership with Emma, to get them moving and trending in the right direction. So to see the Rockets at the top of the Western Conference, I love it. Sacramento Kings, what the heck are you doing? That should be you, frankly. Let the Rockets steal your lunch. Um, and OKC, Sam Presti, boatload, war chest of picks, and then the young roster that he envisioned, and they're winning, and then the prudent pickups, Hartstein, iHeart, who did what he did for us with the Knicks, is a great fit. Even when they get checked back, can just play that center role. His numbers have been great. People have been trying to trade for him in my fantasy league. I picked him up. Not happening under any circumstances. Um, but again, there's these young upstarts. Oklahoma City is taking a lot of people's lunch. Okay, the fact that the Pelicans with Zion and Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum shouldn't be that bad. They are that bad. Afterthought. A couple. It just is. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. A couple teams. I don't see Portland trying to win. Utah trying to win. Pelicans. Trying to win. They're in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. The Kings, you are trying to win. Now, granted, though, from seven all the way to 12, from 7 all the way to 12, and the Kings with 12 losses, there's 2 games that separate a majority of those teams. So, right, how the West was won, folks. That's how it was won. All right, and so listen, yes, late night, work night, it is what it is. This is when we do what we do. We already explained that from the start of the show to the beginning. We have to do the pad. That's going to be the continuing mantra. And we're going to get some sleep. We're going to get some shut-eye for sure. And then we're going to come back and grind tomorrow. And we hope that, the next episode might be tomorrow again. Back at you. You know what I mean? A lot to do. And, but we have to do the passion and just feed and grow and have those things in place. So thanks so much. It's late, but y'all kept rocking with me. Host of Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King, and we will see you again the next time. Peace.